Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals, and I am excited today to share with you a sneak peek at the book that I've been working on for over a year. And it's basically a visual memoir, and I wanted to create it so it's like you're looking inside my journals. So you're going to have pages that have my creative journaling style with a lot of photos and collage, my handwriting, mixed media, and all that kind of thing, art and paint. So really, really inviting and engaging in that sort of junk journal scrapbook style. I always love when I can read someone else's journal or diary and find books with journal entries in it. It always just feels so special, like I'm receiving treasure. I think it's such a gift, a beautiful, beautiful gift. So I definitely, wanted my pages to look like you're getting a peek inside my own personal journals. Sometimes the pages can be pretty real and raw, messy and imperfect and all that kind of thing. But that adds to all the energy and dynamism in the pages, which I've talked about in a previous video. I'd rather pages that have life and energy and that are dynamic, that rather than perfect pages that appear flat and lifeless. And so here is my stack of pages. Look at that. They're pretty much all done. The only ones I have left to go are the front matter and back matter, and I'm still finalizing the covers. So this will probably be a pretty long, chatty video as I go through these. I won't go through page by page because, of course, I want to keep some for the actual book when it's published, but I just want to share some of them here with you. And I wanted to mention as well, for those who wanted to be part of the thank you page, I mentioned this in a live one day and some people were like, yes, please, I would love to contribute. What I'm going to do here for the thank you page, I've got the stack of the book pages here, is write down all the names. I've been keeping a running list of all the people I need to thank, and I'm just going to put them around the image here. And I've been recording a running list. So definitely Sabrina Ward Harrison, who I took this bookmaking course with, and all the people who inspired me. So Johanna Clough and Amity Bloom, Tiffany Julia, Liz Lamoureux, Colleen Atara, Psychology in Seattle, so Kirk and Berto and Bob and Rebecca, and all the people who, are mentioned in the book, all the people who took photos for the book. And of course, I'm also going to be thanking my beautiful subscribers and members and patrons. Thank you so much for your beautiful support, helping me put this book out. But if you would like your actual name featured in this book, then you can donate to the fundraising page for this book. Some of you already have, so your names will go in here. But just make sure you're not anonymous, and make sure you put in how you want your name to appear. So you could just have your initials, just a first name, that kind of thing. So if you would like to contribute to this book project, if you believe in it, if you want to see it in the world, and it will give you a thrill to see your name published in it, then you can do that. Like I said, the fundraising page will be in the description box below. And I think that's so cool. If one of my favorite authors or writers had that opportunity, I'll be jumping at it. I'll be like, yes, I want to support it, and I want my name in that book. So I just wanted to give that opportunity there for anyone who might want it and who is able. And if you just want to support in general, you definitely can. Every member or patron or Etsy shop purchase or purchase of any of my past books that I've done, I'll see if the books are linked down below. I think one of them is always linked, about a charity walk I did from Sydney to Melbourne and everything I learned from that. And there's a few other books. I can link down my bookshelf down there. It's on Amazon. But every little bit counts. So let's get to these pages. And the book is called Lamp in Dark Places. The subtitle is Finding Gems in the Struggle. And how cool, I had to put a library card in here. This is how I start all my journals pretty much, with the details on the library card. So it's just so fitting that this is the way I'm going to start my book. And basically it's about the struggles they went through in the last 4 or so years. And it's not like by the end of the book all the struggles are done. No. They're continual struggles. I just found some peace about going through these struggles because, life, we're always going to go through pain and struggles in life. It's about how we respond. And so in particular, I'm focusing on the struggles that I had with identity and faith and purpose and comparison and jealousy and how to live and love and be me in the world, essentially. So that is my title page. Then we have our copyright page. I've left this blank to fill in the copyright details there. I'll skip the dedication page and the contents page. Don't want to give everything away. Here we have just the first page that starts the book basically with a quote. "The unexamined life is not worth living." It's my favorite quote. I completely believe in this, and I will always examine life. Every day of my entire life, I just examine life. I'm a big thinker. I'm an observer. I love introspection and reflection and getting insights and lessons, and often the best lessons we get come from the hardest struggles. So there's a lot of lessons in this book that have come from some very, very hard struggles, but all worth it. So this page actually is one of my favorite pages, if not my favorite, in the entire book. I did it pretty early on, but it was the first one that I did that felt just so right. And I can't really explain it, but you just know when you create something, you have that feeling, right? And I teach the process of how I made this in the Everything Journal course, actually. And I use this book as the basis for my Everything Journal course. I use the pages as prompts. And there's just so many layers in this. So much went into this, and it's just so meaningful to me. We'll skip the introduction page. Let me share with you the chapter title pages. So there are 4 chapters in this book. The first one is called Soul Survival. The second one is called Dark Night. The third one is Sunrise. And the fourth one is Wrestle with Flowers. And I'll show you each of the chapter titles have a 2-page spread, one with the title and one with like a subtitle for the chapter. So the subtitle for this chapter is "My Soul Journey Isn't Traveled Through Maps and Roads, but Through Words and Notebooks." So yeah, I know people who find that travel is the way that they find themselves and that they learn and grow and love the world. For me, it's through my journaling and creativity. That's how I find myself. That's how I love the world and that kind of thing. The intro pages, those are actually 2 of my favorite pages. Let me see. Okay, I want to share this one with you. So this one is a permission page, and this was a prompt in the Everything Journal course, which anyone is welcome to join if you would like. Just click the join button, and it's through the YouTube membership tier, Everything Journal course. And so once you join, you have instant access to all of the videos for that course, all of the prompts. And we also have Zoom calls twice a month. Our next one is coming up tonight and tomorrow morning as well. So yeah, if you do join the Everything Journal course, you just need to email me so I can send you the link to the Zoom calls if you want to be part of them. So this is my permission page. This was my permission page in terms of how to be me in the world and how to live, but also my permission page for the book, like what to write, that kind of stuff, what to include. So you have permission not to know. You have permission to be here, to take up space, to show up, to speak up, to be seen. You have permission to let people in. You have permission to be all of you. And this was just a note to self about how I could do that. I can only do all of this if I know that there is loving kindness, acceptance, compassion, and love. I can only get to the raw if I know that there's this. So as I was creating these pages, it's quite scary and vulnerable to reveal some of your struggles and ugly things like jealousy and comparison that people don't usually like sharing, those kind of stuff. Things that people might be too afraid to share. But all that raw stuff is real, and I wanted to be able to let all of that out to help people. I hope that this book is a comfort to people and might be like a mirror for them, to let them know that they're not alone, and yeah, just something encouraging and that gives them understanding, and something that gives them compassion and acceptance. So, you know, my story, I've shared about how I grew up wanting and believing I needed to be silent and invisible. So it's taken a very long journey to be able to get here. It still doesn't feel comfortable, but I am trying more and more as each year goes by to speak up and show up and take up space and be seen. And this book is all about that. So here is this permission page. I love this page. I won't go through all of this, but just to show you, this is a page that I love. And another one, hands are a theme throughout this book. And I only discovered it throughout this process that hands were a theme. And hands for me represent that I am here. And yeah, there's a whole big thing about that, but I talk about that in the Everything Journal course, but I could probably do a whole video just on the meaning of hands. If you want to have a video on that, let me know. I can definitely share the story behind that later on. Journaling session with a friend. Let's give you like a sneak peek at some of these pages. This one, okay, I just want to grab a journal. So if you follow my channel for a while, you know that I have art journaled, and I've shared flip throughs of these art journals before, and art journaling has just become a way for me to express myself in a very therapeutic way. I'm not worried about perfect pages or doing it for my channel. It's a private act for myself to just let whatever wants to come out on the page. And I had no idea that these pages, a lot of them would end up as pages in my book, but here we go. So here is the very first page I did in this art journal, when I just was like, I need to express myself. I was in tears, basically. And little did I know it would become a page in a book. So I just wanted to share that with you. All of our art journals and journaling, it's all play and can turn into something else, and I talk a lot about that in the Everything Journal course as well. So we do a page like this in that course. When you're drained, just feed your soul. It's all you can do right now. So at the time when I was writing this book, at the time when I started writing this book, I was feeling very, very lost. I was feeling like I was in the unknown and just empty, and I was crying a lot, and yeah, it was a very empty feeling time. So that's why the first chapter is called Soul Survival. I love how one of the pages is like an actual page in a journal. Let me see, there was a timeline in here. Oh, this was a significant page. Okay, so I realized through doing this bookmaking course and making this book, that's the thing, whenever you write a book, you learn so much about yourself, especially when it's a memoir. It's definitely a self-discovery journey. And I discovered and finally could declare that I am not a minimalist. In my head, I always wanted to be. I like the idea of minimalism, but in reality, I finally just embraced the fact that I'm not. I am a person who gathers and collects meaningful things to me and pretty beautiful things to me. I'm very sentimental, and I only keep the things that really, really mean something to me. And because so many things mean something to me, yes, I do have like a whole gallery wall of special pieces and trinkets and journals and art and all that kind of stuff. But what I learned is that I tell my story through these pieces that I keep. The photos, the words, the art, the papers, ephemera, that's my language. For other people, other things are your language. Paint might be your language. Color might be your language. Just only words might be language. Photos might be your language. Dance might be your language. But for me, it's the things that I keep. That's my language. That's why I've fallen in love with collage, like art journaling through collage, because I tell my story through the things that I keep on the page. Every single piece that I put on here means something to me. You might just be like, oh, that's random stuff on there. No, I chose these. I hand chose these specifically because they mean something to me. And I love being able to do that on a page. So cool. Like this one, every single piece, there's a reason for it. There is a reason. Oh, goodness. There is a reason. And I've been like that since a kid. That's why I put this image here, because I'm surrounded. You can't really see it in this photo from this far away, but it's me with all the things I've created and cut out, and I'm surrounded by a pencil case and scissors and my Derwents and my, I just kept gathering stuff and creating ever since I was a kid, and I am not a minimalist. This is a mind map of home and photos. I love this page. This was also a page in my journal, first of all, and it was inspired by Messy May. Let me see if I can find it. This one, I love doing this so much that I turned it into a page for my book. And I've been talking about this all the time. Last year it was my theme for the year, and it's going on to this year. Use the things, use the pretty things, all the things that you've been hiding and hoarding and saving. Use them now before they fall apart, before they lose their stickiness, before they discolor, or before you start to lose interest in them. That's how I ended up starting to use the things, because I pulled out all of this stuff and I was like, I don't actually care about this stuff anymore. I was like, I should have created with it while it did mean something to me. So that was a lesson for me. That was a big lesson. I love this page. I love shiny things. There's a lot of sequins and glitter in my book because that's me. My world will have chandeliers and crystal doorknobs, tulle skirts and silver tiaras, bookshelves and fairy lights, bead curtains and stained glass, floral wreaths and glitter hair, glitter everywhere, rings on fingers and lockets on long chains, black cats and fields of wildflowers. That makes me happy. That makes me happy. Music features quite a bit in this book as well. So many songs really spoke to me. I love this page. I tried to do some simpler pages. I love the typewriting. I am, like I said, I'm not a minimalist. So my pages, I put a lot on my pages, and I might be, a part of me is a bit worried that's too busy and overwhelming and cluttered. But hey, I want my book to feel and look like me, and I put a lot of stuff on my pages. That's just me. These are some art therapy pages. This one, I need to do the writing in Photoshop because I have a lot of writing to fit. So I need to do it with a text rather than handwriting. Oh, okay. So here's chapter 2, and it's Dark Night. I love these silver stars that my sister sent me. And yeah, I wanted this book to be like a photo album of the last 4 years as well. So that's why there's like random photos everywhere as well. But I did place them to mean things. So like, these are things that get me through the dark night. The beach, the beautiful sunsets, my cat. Journaling gets me through the dark night. And this is to say that the sunrise is coming, that kind of thing. Or the sunset, the dark night is coming, but sunrise will come as well. So the subtitle is Beauty Can Be Found Everywhere. Good can be found in everyone. Wisdom can be learned from everything. So no matter how dark the night, so much good can come out of it. That's one of my core beliefs. It's one of my core beliefs. So this chapter, each chapter has its own color scheme. So the first chapter is the teal or mint chapter. The second chapter is the purple one. The third one's the pink one. And the fourth one's the blue one. And like I said, every element, every color, every piece that I stick on has a meaning. And part of I love finding out all those reasons why people put something into an artwork or page. I would just read a book about them explaining what everything means. But yeah, I can't obviously do that for everything in here. But what I wanted to share is each chapter has a different color, which means something, and has a different feel to it. So the first chapter was very experimental. The pages are just like here, there, and everywhere, all different styles of journaling. The second chapter is very stripped back. I was going through probably depression at the time, if not actual depression, a very depressed mode. So this chapter is very uncreative because I didn't feel like creating during this time. So I wanted the pages to reflect the pages I did during that time. I recreated a lot of the pages for this book from actual journal pages. So they're very stripped back. It's a lot of white space. It's a lot of just very simple pages, because that's all I could manage during this time. So this is quite a rough chapter. Yeah, it goes into a bit of a darker, vibe. But I wanted to share this because even though it's vulnerable and scary to share this kind of stuff, we all go through these feelings, the negative self-talk, the lies that our brain will tell us. So I'll just kind of read some of this to share an example. Like, I'm home alone at night and feeling stupid, not good enough, hurt and jealous, outcast, rejected, angry. I don't feel loved. I think a lot of you can relate. Have you ever felt left out? Have you ever felt rejected? Have you ever felt not loved? And then here, remember, your feelings aren't truth. So at least there was some perspective there. You know, here again, feeling dark, discouraged, down, on the verge of tears. How long will this last? I feel like a bad person, comparing myself again, thinking I don't like life at the moment. You know, these are real thoughts. And I wanted to put them here again because I think everyone has these thoughts at some stage in life. And they're not scary. They don't make us a bad person for having those thoughts. We're all going to struggle at times. And if we can share about it and be with each other together and have compassion for each other, that's all that matters. It's when you suffer in silence and beat yourself up over it that's not helpful. So here we have this page here, which I did in the Everything Journal course. And it's one of those pages that I love. And that I recreated from an actual page that I did in my journal. And again, the hand, I am here. This was the very first one that I ever did with a hand. And it might look quite like a negative page, but actually this is a declaration of, hey, even though life is hard and even though I have these painful feelings sometimes, I am celebrating the fact and honoring the fact that I am still here. I'm still showing up and I'm still me, and here I am. That won't overcome me. Yes, this can all be here, but it doesn't make me disappear. It doesn't make me become destroyed. So I represented that by these little diamantes because I love sparkles and sparkles represent me. It's like, this is my declaration. I'm still here. Yes, these can be here maybe the rest of my life, but I'm still here in it. So this was a cool one where I took this photo and I found a scripture, and I want to put that in Photoshop. I want to do like some small writing here to put the scripture there from one of the Psalms. And this was when God spoke to me through this view of the ocean, where he was just saying, you know, he is so powerful enough to create the ocean, that he is powerful enough to create me. And sort of when I think of the ocean, it's like all of that mystery underneath there. It's full of all of this unknown, and it's just all these depths. What is under there? And I felt like the ocean at this time. I felt like I've got all this mystery inside of me. It's these depths that can be quite dark and chaotic and tumultuous, and I can't get a handle of it, and it feels overwhelming. It feels like I'm drowning. But hey, God is the God of the ocean, and God is the God of me. He's the God of my depths and my chaos and my ocean inside of me. So it was like a metaphor where he spoke to me through the ocean. So that was really cool. Oh, here. Okay, here's another one of like, for 3 days I've been sitting on my bed crying. Don't really know why. Have you been there? I have. This one I talked about anxiety. This one was very much inspired by Kirk from Psychology in Seattle, where he talked about like an anxiety scale, and it put into words something that was really helpful for me about anxiety. So that was very cool. So it's going to be okay. Yeah, it's going to be okay. It is going to be okay. I'll just give you a look at all this. My friend and I wrote a song together, so I put that in there. Dear You. I'll read you this one. This is like one of the most meaningful pages I had a dream actually. Sometimes I get creative ideas and dreams, sometimes fully formed. This is kind of one of those occasions where I received a letter in my dream and I could remember basically what it said. And so I wrote down sort of from the dream, but also from my heart. These are the words from my heart to everyone in the world and also to myself. The words I need to hear, but the words that are the core of my being inside my heart that I want to share with every person in the world. Dear you, you are wonderful. I want you to know you matter. You are needed and wanted. Keep showing up even when it's hard. You're not alone in dark places. It's okay to be different, to not fit in. You bring good into the world and are good for others by being you. You are loved in the mess and I'm with you in the struggle. You are dearly loved and you bring great joy. I love this one as a quote. You are dearly loved and you bring great joy. Something that I struggle to remember about myself, but I always want to share this message with other people. You are dearly loved and you bring great joy. No matter the circumstances, no matter what your self-talk says, no matter how people have treated you, it doesn't change the fact that every moment of every day you are dearly loved and you bring great joy. I need a bit of sparkle, yes. This was me starting to come out of the dark night, recognizing what I was feeling, having compassion for myself, recognizing my needs. That's how I started to come out of the dark night. And, life lessons. What can I say about pain? We can't avoid it. It's part of life, part of living and being human. There's nothing wrong with you if you're hurting. Your pain doesn't mean you aren't loved. So what is it about pain that makes us feel unloved? Is it that we hide our pain, and when we suffer alone, love feels distant? When we show our pain and suffer together, love is close. A life without love is the greatest suffering. Sit with people in the struggle. I believe we can endure any struggle as long as we're not alone. But if we're alone in it, it's just really, really hard. Our struggles don't disqualify us from bringing good into the world and helping people. They qualify us. This is a quote I came up with like 20 years ago. Our darkness isn't a reason to hide our light. I love that. Love that. This is my page, very much inspired by Psychology in Seattle. And when people read this, their reaction is always like, no, you're not. How dare you think things like that? And I have to explain, no. We are allowed to have thoughts. We are allowed to think these things. They are not too dark, not too scary. They are just commonplace. They are so boring and so mundane. They don't deserve attention or importance or to be ruminated on. They can just come and go in the background because they are so commonplace. That's what I've come to learn. These thoughts of like, I don't belong, I'm not worthy, I'm unloved. Instead of being like, oh, I believe them and I'm going to think about them and focus on them all the time. It's like, oh no, that's just the mundane chatter in the background. Let's just let that come and go. It might always be there in my head, but I know it's not true. Most of the time I know it's not true. And core belief. I know it's not true, but sometimes I feel like it isn't. It is. I feel like it is true. Even though, like, core belief, I know it's not true, but I can still feel like it is. But all to say, like, let's not shame people or judge people for these thoughts that they have. Like, we don't need to keep quiet about this and pretend we don't have them, which is what I try to do my entire life. I have a defective schema, basically, which is where I believe I'm a bad person, that no one will love me if they really knew me, that kind of stuff. But I know, again, core belief, that's not true. I will probably always wrestle with this my entire life, but commonplace thoughts, they can come and go, And I am one of the many letters to Pema Chodron, or Pema, I'm not sure how you say. I'm the worst person in the world, the lowest of low. I know people have thought like this. I used to think I was the only one, but I've met like countless people who think like this. And it's like, okay, I can get over myself now. This is not unique. I'm not the only one with these thoughts. This is just so mundane and so boring. A lot of people have these thoughts. I can relate to Bob from Psychology in Seattle with Butler syndrome. That idea that I'm only lovable if I am useful. And It was so cool. I got up this morning and there's a package, a tube. What on earth? It's a poster from Psychology in Seattle. Wow, what a gift. I hung it on my fairy lights above my desk. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this page like this. I might change it a little bit, but I'm going to have this sticker here from Psychology Seattle, and that's the poster that arrived and that I put above my desk. So I see it every single day. Take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do. That is their catchphrase. I love Psychology in Seattle. They came into my life at exactly the right time when I needed it. I feel like it was a God thing, and they've helped me through a lot, helped me to learn about myself, and they're just very entertaining and make me laugh. I listen to them pretty much every day, and they have helped me, and I believe they will help you. So check them out. I'm a patron of theirs, proud patron, and love supporting them. So this is the third chapter, Sunrise. This was about finding myself, shine through the darkness, light always wins. All right, so let's go through some pages here. I don't know, there's a lot. There's a lot. So this one's about where I focus more on like the struggles of jealousy, identity, comparison, and what is my purpose in life is kind of what I'm struggling with here. This is for the self-portrait. Be bigger, better, greater, grander, have more talent, knowledge, status, stuff. What is this desire for me to be more, do more, have more? Why do I judge myself by appearance and achievement and awkwardness? Why do I feel pressure to be happy and successful and all together? Can I just be me, jumbled and stumbling? I think a lot of people can relate to that as well. Love this page as well. This is a page when art really helped me express myself and see myself. This is a drawing I did when I was a lot younger, when I was in high school. I used to love designing clothes, and I have like pages and pages of dresses that I drew. So it was fun to like incorporate old pieces from my life. And yeah, I love like the simplicity of this page. So more wonderful pages. This one, I think I shared this before as a prompt, and it's definitely a prompt in the Everything Journal course. If you were a colour, what would you be? My mum said that I would be confetti because I'm multifaceted and multi-talented. So I put this confetti and sparkles here. And my sister said silver sparkles because you because you sparkle with joyful energy. And my sister sent me a care package of glitter and stars and sequins because she couldn't bear the thought of me having none, because at the time I had run out of them. So she sent me this star, and I featured the silver stars elsewhere and sequins. So this one is a tribute to my grandma. I've talked about her a lot on my channel, my kindred spirit who loved all things creative and beautiful too. And I wanted to bring rainbows of light and colour, beauty and wonder into the world. A big theme of this book is beauty. I want to spread beauty everywhere. I see beauty everywhere, and I want to spread beauty everywhere. Keanu features in this book quite a bit because he keeps me, he comforts me, he gives me joy, he makes me laugh, he gives me perspective. Here's a real piece. I put my hands over my heart because it feels like it's burning with the desire to write. I want to write so much I feel like crying, and I'm anxious because Sabrina was so young when she wrote Spilling Open, and Donald Miller wrote Blue Like Jazz in his early 30s. It makes me think, what have I done with my life? Time is passing. Have you had those thoughts? These are my favorite writers and artists. And then I see the profile of Keanu, and I literally, this is as I was writing this, I took this photo of him. And then I see the profile of Keanu in his bed, and he calms me, my sleeping black kitty. He brings me peace and perspective. He never worries if he is cat enough. I worry every day if I'm good enough, human enough, a good citizen. He knows I will give him food and water and cuddles and company. It delights me to look after him. He shows me God delights to look after me. I can be at ease knowing he will provide my every need. I don't have to fret about my future. I've got so much life ahead of me. And these are his paw prints. We did some watercolor one day, and these are Keanu's paw prints. I love this page. I love this page too. It's so pretty. So pretty. So more pages here, just more. Oh, I love this one. You might be wondering, why are there so many photos of yourself in this book? Good question. So at the time, like I said, as I was making this book, the reason I was making it, I just felt so lost. I didn't really know who I was. Again, I felt very lost. So this book was very much an endeavor in finding myself. And again, like I said, I tell my story visually. That's how I find myself. That's how I hold myself together. It's through the photos I take. It's through the pieces I keep. It's through the art I create and the words that I write. So taking photos, selfies, creative self-portraits, this was my way of finding myself, of holding myself together. That's why there's so many of just me in my face. And of course that helps with permissions. Like I didn't have to get permissions for other people, so that just made it easier overall. But the reason is just because I needed to find myself, to ground myself, and that's how I do it, through photos. One of the ways. So this one is the final chapter, Wrestle with Flowers. I've talked about this on my channel, about how I learned to embrace the fact that I am a compulsive thinker. I think and think and think and think, and sometimes it's a curse, but I would not give it up because there are so many gifts that come out of it. And here's a joke that I accidentally made. Maybe I should live more, I thought to myself. And then a second later I thought, I need to think about that. And then I cracked up laughing because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such a compulsive thinker. Maybe I should live more. I need to think about that. Oh dear. So yes, I am a person who loves to who loves to think deeply about everything. I can't just look at a flower and be like, oh, what a pretty flower. I'm like, that's such a pretty flower. What can it teach me? How did it get here? What does it mean? What can I learn from this flower? I'm like that with everything. And like I said, sometimes it can be exhausting, but I don't get to the gems without that wrestle. I don't get those lessons. If I only looked at a flower and enjoyed it, yes, that's good. That is definitely good. But I get extra goodness, a bonus goodness, when I can learn from the flower as well. And the wrestle, like, it's exhausting sometimes, and I'm like, oh, can I just have a break from thinking about this flower? But if I follow it, if I keep thinking enough, I get to a lesson, I get to an insight where the flower teaches me, and I'm like, ah, I got even more out of that flower than just enjoyment. And so that's why it's wrestling with flowers, finding gems in the struggle. I will keep wrestling. I will wrestle with everything because I want to get to those gems. I want to get to the lessons, the gems of the lessons and the beauty. All right, let me go through more pages. I love this one. This is another prompt we did in the Everything Journal course with some watercolor. About change, about how things change from day to day. Things change in a day, so don't hold on too tightly. Things change. I change. I change. What do I do when I don't know what to do? Take the next step in front of me. It could lead to something completely different than what I think it will lead to, but is needed to get me to where I'm going. Trust this step. Remember, I don't need to know 10 steps ahead. One step is all I need. One step. You can go anywhere from there. So this is at a time when, like, I'm a planner. I like having a 10-step plan. But at this time, I had no idea what would happen, like, the next day, because I was just, like, up and down all the time. I was changing all the time, and I just lost all of my dreams, and I had no plan, nothing, no guidance. And so this is just a reminder to self, just take the next step. You can always take the next step. What's going to give you joy? Do that. Just do that. What's going to be helpful for you? Just do that. You don't need to worry about 10 steps ahead. More Keanu pages and music pages. Yeah, there's so many things in here. By the last chapter, you get a lot of my insights and lessons. Basically, what my chapters are, it's a combination of journal entries, so real and raw thoughts in real time, a collection of thoughts that I've been having, and a collection of lessons that I've learned. So that's basically what these are. getting towards the end of this. Another Keanu page. This was about something that I was going through last year. I want to live a slower, smaller, simpler life, seeing where I am in each moment. That sounds like a version of a good life. My cat lives a simple life, not a grand life that has meaning for the whole world. He doesn't change the world, but he makes my world better. Life is better with a cat. A Things I Love page. This was a prompt for the Everything Journal course. Favorites. This is an upcoming prompt for the Everything Journal course. This is something I've done ever since I was a teenager. Just every few years I will capture my favorites just to see what changes, what stays the same. So I thought I needed to include something like this in the book. Another one with Keanu. I love this photo of him. So pretty. Things won't be better when. Things are just fine now. If I can't learn to be content here, then I won't be content there. So, and then a quote by Umberto Castaneda. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Probably not. But again, from Psychology in Seattle, I got permission to include their quotes from this podcast. Enjoy the moment, share the moment, create the moment. I love that. I love that. If I put that into my words, it's find the gold, share the gold, capture the gold. Find the gold, capture the gold, share the gold. All right. Let's see. Getting towards the end here. I love it. It's this idea that, yes, I've learned a whole bunch through this life and book process, but every conclusion I come to now could be overturned in the future. And I had this worry as I was writing this book. I was like, well, do I say anything? Do I say nothing for the fear of appearing foolish, or do I just go for it? Declare something even if it isn't true for all time, because it's my truth now. So there might be some things in here that I've just glibly said because that's what I believed in the moment. But in 5 years when I look back, I'll be like, oh, that wasn't the right thing to write, or that wasn't truth, or whatever. But that's what felt true to me in the moment here. So for example, at the time I wanted to live a smaller life, but in 10 years I might want to live a bigger life. Both can be true, and I was worried that maybe I would be judged or something for having some immature beliefs, and I'm still growing. That's the whole point. And I thought, let's just capture it, because this is a journey. I'm a human. Sometimes I'll have foolish things that I believe that I think are so true that I'm wrong about, and I'll learn that later. Give me grace as I'm learning. Give me grace as I'm growing. And as I learn that there's a time to be silent, a time to speak up, a time to rest, a time to work, a time to stay, to move, for small, for big, for less, for more, for quiet, for loud, for wait, for change, for hold on and let go. I love this page. This will be a prompt as well in the Everything Journal course. What is the thread running through my life? I meant to write gold, but I wrote God and was like, that works. Here's my beginning and end and messy middle. I don't make sense without him. I do not make sense without him. The middle is full of pain and struggle, but also full of beauty and wonder. I love this page here. Let's share that. Love this page here. I love this. I'm just a human wanting to live a life that makes the world a little brighter and more beautiful. I want to offer beauty. I see beauty wherever I go. This comes from a template from Daphne's Diary. I did email them and ask for permission if I could use it, and they said, if you create it yourself, that's totally fine. You can use it in your own work. And so I'm so glad I could also feature something from Daphne's Diary in my book, because you guys know how much I love Daphne's Diary. I love these blue butterflies. Bring me the pressure to make me sparkle. Bring me the fire to make me golden. Bring me the pruning to make me bloom. Bring me the seasons to make me sweet. Now, this is a core belief of mine. It's a little poem I came up with. And I know not everyone agrees with this. I know not everyone wants this, and that's okay. That's something I've had to learn. Just because this is my core belief, it doesn't need to be yours. I don't need to force it on anyone. You can have yours, and you live your great life. I'll live my great life believing this for my own self. I know some people would rather not have the pressure, the fire, the pruning, and the seasons, and more power to you. You don't have to have them necessarily. Of course, there's struggles in life, but I sort of welcome them, and I sort of want them and embrace them because I want this. This is my priority. I want the sparkle, the gold. I want the flowers, and I want the sweet. I want that. That is my end goal. And I know that's not everyone's end goal, and that's totally fine. We don't have to have the same end goal. Everyone's end goal is totally valid. But this is my end goal. I want the lesson. I want the lesson. I love the lesson. So I'll take whatever it needs to get to the lesson, if that makes sense. And that's something that I have learned about my own self. And this is key. There is gold in the dirt, glitter in the darkness. I've shared this before. Keep showing up long enough and you'll always find the gold, capture the gold, share the gold. I'm not going to share with you the last page. That pretty much sums up the entire book, and I'll just keep that, a bit of a surprise for anyone who might read this book in the future. So that's a little look at, or a long look at my book, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll give you a bit of a taster if that's something that you might want to read, or something that you might want to contribute to and see in the world. If you would like to be part of the thank you page, see your name, your actual name, feel free to donate and contribute to that fundraising page, which, like I said, I'll link below. I'm not sure if I will have this one as the thank you page. I'm considering maybe using this one as well, because this was from a large sheet of paper that I cut up into like book pages. I've used every other sheet in this book except for this one, so I feel like this needs to go in the book somewhere. And I've only got the thank you page to go that's left. This is going to be my very last page, because I like that symmetry. This is the very first page, this is the last page. So yeah, loving that symmetry. And the thank you page is the second last page. So wow, what a journey. I haven't even shared the whole book, but it feels like I shared quite a lot of my journey in that. I hope that was encouraging, just even reading some of those pages to you, and comforting, and to let you know you're not alone in your struggles. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.